Good morning to you. How you doing this morning? Somebody out there. Today happens to be 16th of January 2022. Yes. And a Sunday morning with the man known as Royal King on your radio, African Media 247. Alongside Dr. Andy Asama all the way from SA. Yes. This is Morning Chats. As you know, we do it every Sunday. It's going to be something different today. Mind you, this program is currently sponsored to you by No 32 Signature Para. Not forgetting Kumasi Market, located at Grand Prairie, Dallas, Texas. Call a friend, tell a friend. Let's read. Bring in your comments. Doctor is over here to answer it for you. Doctor is over here to solve it. Doctor is over here to give you positive vibes this morning. So my brother, my sister, call a friend, tell a friend, mama, daddy, yes. Sit down and let's reason. Dream. When you dream, dream big. Somebody might say dream big as the ocean. Yes. I don't know if that can happen. Anyway, doctor is with you right here. Good morning to you, doctor.
Good morning, Ken.
How you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
It's a blessing. We have life, so everything is positive.
Thank God. Bless
Yeah,
God
thank
for
God.
a great.
What is going on aside the outcome 2022 going on in Africa? What is going on in Africa? What's good news in Africa, the motherland?
I think in terms of good news, it depends on the lens actually with which you are looking at it. Not many, but at least it's good to say that a number of the things that we've all always been pushing for, peace, stability, and other related things. Those we know now are the old situations that exist. We don't have major new developments. There are new developments in Mali around ECOWAS sanctions and protests coming in relation to that, and a few other things. So we will say that it's been peaceful. As you indicated, the AFCON is about the biggest spectacle now on the continent. And for Ghanaians, it's really more about what is our fate at the moment. We are resorting to a lot of calculations to see if we can qualify. Other than that, it looks like the tournament itself is coming out great. There's been great display of football and real a sense that some of the teams that hitherto were considered small are no more small at all, and so that is positive. Hello, Ken.
What is going on? What is going on in South Africa about a king who was South Africa about cannabis? What is going on over there about it?
I'm not sure it's a story I've followed closely.
Mhm.
Particularly,
Okay,
sorry.
Somalia.
Uh, uh-huh.
Somalia, something about their elections. I don't know
No,
if you.
they've been pushing for for a long time they've not been able to have elections as we know it.
Mhm.
Elections as in one man or one person, one vote, if you like.
Okay.
They are pushing towards getting that done.
Mhm.
It's not been easy. There's been quite some tension between the president and the prime minister and other related political issues. So for some time now, there have been some form of elections, but those are elections that are linked to representatives of the various communities rather than everybody in the country having the opportunity to vote. But with gradual stabilization in the capital, and so many parts of the country, and so they are now trying to move now to a state where everybody, at least in the places where there is stability, will have the opportunity to go to, the polls to decide on who becomes their leaders. That is not an easy issue at all. As you know, Sudan as well. There's so much uncertainty if the elections that were supposed to be at the end of the transition period will take place, because there are so many protests surrounding, after the coup and even the resignation of the prime minister. So there are many things, really.
It looks like in Uganda, Bobby Wine took the elections to court, and he was turned down because he didn't have enough evidence to prove it, like where it was something wrong with the election, or whatever that it went on. But it
Yeah.
looks like the president, or the current, opposition leader right now, or the current, leader right now, is trying to or threaten Bobby Wine for some of the stuff that's been doing. Why so? Because like it looks like the president don't want he wanted to. I know it looks like he's a dictator, but he trying to kick everybody out of the country. If you are a political party that you just want to come in power, he's trying to kick a lot of people out. Why so?
Looking at the Bobby Wine issue before coming to the last question, it's a very tough terrain to operate. He's not the first to undergo such very, very tough situation. If you remember, BCJ, when BCJ was the main opposition person pushing against President Museveni, he had similar experiences of arrests, incarcerations, allegations, and all that. And so I think Bobby Wine went into that space fully aware of how tough the president he is going against is. But he still made the choice anyway, because he's a pretty popular young man. And I think that young people like that have time on their side. And so for him, his real triumph card is how he will play his relevance so that he can stay relevant over time in the minds of people. If he's not able to do that and he starts to dwindle, then the stiffer position we are seeing coming through from Uganda, the current leadership of the country will give him quite some trouble. Um, it's the court situation is usually difficult to discuss, right? Because in elections anyone can say, raise allegations and raise issues to say the elections have been rigged. But when it comes to having what it takes to prove, to the extent that it meets legal levels of acceptability in a competent court of law, that is a totally different situation. So we can only respect the whatever the court says, because the courts, he believes in the courts, that's why he took it there. So I think that he needs to accept the outcomes and get back to the ground. If the process, if the space is allowed him to participate, I believe there are ways, a peaceful way to engage the system towards whatever he wants. Yeah, that is what I can say.
Yeah, but it looks like Bobby Wine issue and Yoweri Museveni issue has been in a long time. Like it got to a point whereby Bobby was arrested, was beat up, and so many going on. But all these African leaders, they don't see what is going on. Like, how can you just trick people, beat them? Like, before somebody would do a rally or a demonstration or something, the person go through the process. Like, police or the security agents will know what's going on and they can approve it. If they do approve it, then I'm entitled or have the right to just organize my rally or demonstration or whatever that I want to do. But it
Mhm.
gets to a point whereby police brutality and all these Bobby Wine is bleeding and all these. Can't African leaders talk about something like that? That don't need to do that.
No, I mean, the continent has several provisions. Um, the way the international system works, right? You have countries interacting with each other and held together by respect for each other in the name of sovereignty. So what that means is that even if you are a big country and I am small in terms of population size or in terms of economy size and other variables, no matter how big you are, even if I am as tiny as the full stop at the end of a sentence on the map of the world and I am called a country, you've got to respect me. I have the same rights as you have when it comes to matters of representation and matters of being given your due among the committee of states in the international system. That is how it breaks. What that means is that that sovereign entity has a level of flexibility in managing the affairs that happen within her territory. And so the it become issues become naturally open for others to engage in when number one it becomes an issue that threatens not just that country in question but her neighbors and the broader international system. And so what that means is that depending on the nature of the issue, if members of the international community regard that as a purely domestic issue, then they usually have the regard that the government in place is literally dealing with it because every government has a challenge. So within that context, it's only when issues get to a certain level of appreciation that other international actors come in. What that means is that it is not everything that happens in the country that others may jump, at least openly, to try and interfere with what is happening within the country. But a lot of exchanges usually happen behind the scenes. So that's number one. Number two is that all the countries within which you mention issues, right? There are regional and continental frameworks that those countries themselves have agreed to or discussed at the AU level, agreed to certain norms, and have committed to respect them. And many of them have even domesticated some form of those frameworks. And so it is something that they've committed to do. So sometimes you would wish that they will respect those frameworks and move on to respect them. But this is the challenge that regardless of the frameworks that we have, if the framers and those who are supposed to be the caretakers, the custodians of those frameworks, who are the states and their representatives, begin to struggle with the implementation, it makes it a little difficult for their peers to jump in. Also related to that is that there are a number of countries that have similar challenges by their own interpretations. And so what that means is that if another one is having the same, it's difficult for them, to jump into that space and start telling them what they need to do. Because if you look closely, every country has their own challenge and they are grappling with it. So these are some of the realities. So, but at the end of the day, if you have a situation where some countries have similar problems, then the main thing that makes them struggle, to correct such things is that then they lack the political will to say anything against that country because it's really talking against themselves. So what all of this means is that the continent has a long way to go in terms of observing democratic norms, respecting the opening of political spaces, and even how we maturely manage dissent in some of these countries. And so that is the nature of the situation on the continent. And I took time to also explain why a lot of times you don't necessarily hear countries, trumpeting what would be their position, because sometimes they do it behind the scenes, or there are things that are holding them back.
49 minutes away from 7. In case you just tune in, this is African Media 247 Morning Chat. Reason with Dr. Andy Asamoah, all the way from South Africa. Yes, telling us about more in Africa, how, the governance in Africa, taking place, stuff like that. Telling us more about Bobby Wine issue in Uganda with Yoweri Museveni. Thank you, Doctor. In case you just tune in, this is Morning Chat with the man known as Ray Akin. This program is kindly sponsored to you by Noel 32 Signature Apparel. Um, Print makes an impression. I will tell you more about Noel 32 Signature Apparel. Not forgetting Kumasi Market. Kumasi Market is located at Grand Prairie, Great Southwest Parkway, 22100 South Great Southwest Parkway, Grand Prairie, Texas. I will tell you more about Kumasi Markets. Doctor, when
Yes.
we when mankind acts like dream, what is dream in your own
Um,
explanation? How are you gonna explain it like dream
you
in
know,
your own way?
in the you can look at dream in many ways. In its ordinary usage, is the kind of thought processes that run through your mind whilst you sleep, right? That is number one. That we all know about it.
All right.
But there is also the thoughts and reflections about where you want to go in life, or where you see yourself years ahead, which also runs through your mind loosely the same way. And so someone can sit at one place and begin to see themselves 20 years from now, maybe in a very affluent state, having fulfilled his dreams and looking at all sorts of angles. And so having that kind of thoughts. And so when it comes to matters of looking for progress and success in life, there are elements that everybody has a certain picture of themselves, or certain regular flow of a certain state of expectation which they always see themselves in, which are not reality, but which are things they wish they could have. Going forward, all of those constitute dreams. So, in its very simple sense, you can look at it as a particular state of thought that reflects where you want to be or where you need to be. Dreams are not necessarily actions, dreams are not reality. And you can dream and dream without taking action in that sense. Dreams are very fluid, because what you could be thinking about as yourself in 20 years now can be different from what it is when you sit to reflect again tomorrow. So, is that fluid, grandiose state that you see yourself in future, or you want to see yourself years ahead, where everything is how you want it? So that constitutes a dream. But as I indicated, dreams are fluid. Dreams, there's a huge gap between dreams and actions, and dreams are not necessarily goals. And so we need to look at all of this. So, Ken, when you say dream, that is how we can put it.
Okay, so that means that it's a little bit closer to action.
Well, it's kind of miles away. For a focused mind, you can dream and start to turn it into a goal, and start working the goal down into milestones and objectives and action. But dreams are such that it's more or less that abstract way of looking at where you need to be, having not taken any action about it at all. That is why you've got to dream big, because a lot of times it motivates the goals you set, or it influences or inspires the goals you set. And out of that, and so the bigger the dream, the higher the goal you may set. But you can use that dream to inspire you to set goals, and then you use your actions to move towards the goals in that way. So the dreams themselves are more or less that thought and imagination of where you want to be, or imagination of what you wish you could get, or imagination of where you think you want to be. Everybody has a dream, including the one who people may think has failed, whether that person, I don't know, is homeless or is whatever state you are, that everybody has a dream. The difference is the action part, is the goal and the action part. So dream is literally that imagination and visualization of where you really want to be. For a dream, for you to be able to walk into that, it's a whole lot of processes that you've got to go through. Okay.
Okay, a whole lot of process that is supposed to go through or you have to go through. Doctor, so let's put it in this way. There was a man that he was poor.
Mm.
So all the time he been thinking about, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. When I get money, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna do this, and to take me to this level. Or do this business, and it will take me to this level. So one day, this man, for some reasons, he received the money from the government, in which maybe like he was having the money sitting down somewhere, and he received that money. All of a sudden, whatever he was thinking about, all the dreams, like everything disappeared to
Mhm,
another level of life.
mhm.
So that means he didn't take actions of what he was thinking about or what he wanted to do when he get money or what.
But that is a good example. And that is why I was saying that the dreams are more or less lofty ideas, really big, grand, if you like. Um, Usually unwritten. You just sit, and those are imaginations that come into your mind about where you want to go, where you want to be, and all that. Now, for seriousness to come in, those are supposed to inform a goal, and then the goals are supposed to inform milestones, and the milestones are supposed to inform actions, so that they cascade into each other in that order until you move them. Now, so if one keeps just thinking about how, what they want and all of that, without moving to create goals and taking actions in that sense,
Mhm.
it's still that's why it's called a dream. It's more like it's not real. You are just imagining things, right? But those imaginations are supposed to inspire you to begin to ask yourself,
Mhm.
what should I do so that these things that I'm imagining buying, and this thing will take me to another level, and all of that is something that is real. And so a lot of times it's really action, or the presence of action based on goals in that direction, is what will make the difference between whether it's just daydreaming or that this is actually serious reflection of where the mind wants to take the body, in that order.
Okay, in case you just join us, our team, this is African Media 247 Morning Chats, having a conversation with Dr. Andy Samoa, talking about dreams and talking about actions and stuff like that. Catch Samokuya this afternoon between the hours of 2 and 3. Number one political talk show on your radio, African Media 247, is coming up live. Like I said earlier on, between the hours of 2 and 3 p.m., Dallas, Texas time is going to be something exclusive. 2022, catch Samokuya live this afternoon. Number one political talk show in Africa Media 247. No, our 32 signature para. All your prints, you better go there. Funeral invitations, t-shirt printing, business cards, key holders, logos. If you want to get a new logo, just go to Noel 32 Signature Apparel. Screen printing and everything, plastic cup designing, like a lot. Noel 32 is located at South Centreso near ARS Church in Kumasi. Reach out to them. They will serve you good. They will do whatever that you want in printing for you. Give them a call 0244617307. Once again, the number is 0244617307 or 020-102-3790. No 32 signature power prints makes an impression. Take a listen to this from Dr. Andy Asamoah. Take a listen to this.
Hi, thanks for sharing your dreams yesterday. I spent the night reflecting on dreams and life based on the chat we had. You know, Earth is the home of dreams. Yes, billions of dreams. Look around and see billions of stars waiting to shine to gladden hearts that are waiting to celebrate fulfilled dreams. Yet, only thousands ever take a first step into the skies. Only hundreds stay on the path, and further few ever truly see the skies. Yet, everyone carries a dream to see themselves high up and bright. Dreams. Dreams. It's strange how mortals are gifted with dreams, but are in debt to action. A dream without action creates a restless soul, but even a little action brings progress to a mortal. 1,000 years of actionless dreams can never compete a day of even a little action towards a dream. So souls must dream, but a soul must plan about reaching a dream. Those you think have failed in life once carried lofty dreams too. A soul's plan to reach a dream does not create a fulfilled dream, because a soul must act to reach a dream. So act small, act big, act anyhow, but act anyway and today. That's the only way to fulfill a dream. A good action towards a golden dream gladdens the heart, which is what you seek. So take action today towards your dream. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes, you heard Dr. Andy Asamoah. Take action. Make it happen. So, how can somebody make it happen, doctor? Just give a piece
Ken,
of
thank
advice.
you.
Tell us something.
So a couple of things, as we said, as I indicated initially, dreams are literally imagined future. It's literally what you imagine, what you wish, and so they are always very flowery in terms of the kind of pictures you have in your mind. Um, Everybody has that. The one who has failed, the one who is winning, and all that. At the end of the day, they all, that sense of no matter how flowery they may be, they always inspire your motivation to get there. Because anyone who gets satisfied, anyone who gets satisfied by what they have, and not necessarily stand at a point where they are thirsty for what they don't have, do not get the drive to keep going. And so those who have dreams always have a seed with which they can translate a certain expectation into a goal and start working with it. And so dreaming, no matter how big it is, no matter how, sometimes it's so big that if you tell someone, the person thinks you are going insane, right?
Mhm.
You're going insane to the extent that you leave it there and not find a way to translate that into goal. The goal now is very specific, and realistic thing you want to do, you know, um, to be able to walk into that dream you have of you. And so once you have the dream, if you are convinced that is really where you want to go, then turn that into a goal that has time attached to it. So let's say, in your case, you dream of um, African media becoming bigger than CNN or Al Jazeera.
Right.
For now, it's way out there. For now, it's so lofty. And the good thing about that is that you can picture it any way you want in your room. You can say, CNN start speaking news from you. You are paid by CNN. You are paid by 1,000 of the likes, of the giant media houses. You can think and think and think, but it starts becoming serious when you start translating that into action by saying, okay, so to get there, what must I do? If you ask yourself that question, and then you
Mhm.
would say, okay, in that sense, I need to turn African media into ABCD. So once you have that as where you want to go specific by this time, so you have a timestamp attached to it. And then you then go to the next step by asking yourself, what will I require to do to be able to get there? And so it requires that Africa Media does A, Africa Media does B, Africa Media does C. And then you start following that. And then you take action based on those milestones you've set so that gradually it moves you in that direction. Which means that um, dream without action is more or less like um, um, thinking in your mind that a bird is perching on a tree, and so you are going to get it. Really, trying to take action to get it is when you aim the catapult in the right place and then use the bird that is there as your objective to hit, once as your target. Once you start doing that, then you are going somewhere. But if you sit under a tree and imagine the bird coming down, it's more or less a dream. But once you start taking action towards that, then you're actually going somewhere. Um, and Patience Quay, who is listening to us all the way from from Ghana, Mama Patience,
Oh.
I salute. She is asking what is the difference between that dream, the dream you have when you sleep, and the
Mm.
dream we are talking about. Ken, if I can answer. So initially, I indicated that the the kind of images and reflections and playbacks that goes through your mind when you are in a subconscious state, a certain state in your sleep process. It's a dream, right? Sometimes people start processing their fears. Sometimes people start processing um, their expectations. Sometimes there are those who believe in spiritual aspects that who accept that God speaks to them through, and so they see visions and all that. And then you have sometimes our regular experiences of things that have bombarded us and all of that. So those are images that the body, the brain processes when you are in that subconscious state. That is a dream, right? But we are talking about dream as in the context of where you want to go as a person, as the series of imagined or imaginations about where you want to be or what you want to get, um, really out there. And everybody has that kind of dream. There are people who want to do music, and so they always, picture themselves in filling the O2, for instance, and and that is fine. They can be in their room, picture filling the O2 in 5 seconds after announcing. That is great, but from there to where the O2 is a whole range of processes. But what we are saying is that those dreams in this context do not necessarily have actions attached to them. It's really at the level of imaginations and picturing. And a lot of times it's very grandiose, really huge in terms of where we want to go without action. And they are very fluid. They can move quickly. They can change. Depend. Some people even depending on their mood, their mood. But most often, a certain consistent picture they see of themselves. Those ones um, are not real until you work towards making them real. And that's why we are saying that action is what makes the difference between what you are picturing, whether they are going to be real or not. And so, for it to be real, you've got to turn series of imagination, whether they are regular or not, you turn them into goals, and then you turn the goals into milestones, and then you direct your actions according to those milestones. Remember that you break the goals down into key milestones or objectives, if you want, and then within that, you work towards each of them according to specific timelines so that at a certain time that you've set per the goal, you'll be able to reach it. But if you leave it at a point of unwritten, just imagination, big and grandiose, no action, just enjoying the dream and the flashes of imagined reality, then that remains more of a dream. But if you have a certain consistent way of seeing yourself perform in a certain way, where you want to be, and all of that, that can also constitute a dream. But it is not real until you start taking some action towards it. And that is, it's more or less, as I indicated initially, dreams always can inspire goals, and then goals inspire actions. If you don't move from the dream to goals, then you are probably just daydreaming, and that is fine. But that's we want all of us to move in the direction where we translate it. People, there are people who can live in their heads, and so in their minds they are the best in the world. Um, you can check whether that is real by how reality is. But we want to be able to translate that kind of imagination into reality so that we have a situation where the mind is ahead and the body follows the mind into where you need to be. That is really what we are looking at in this sense. Mama, patience, that is, I hope this has been helpful. If you have any input as well, I think you can type it, and Ken is monitoring the chat function. So that will
Yeah,
be appreciated.
I wasn't paying attention to that, Ma Patricia. Sorry. Samuel Kodia, good morning to you, Ken. Doctor, you are great. You're having a great show. Good morning. Good
Thank
morning
you.
to you, Ken. Yes, and Doctor, great show by all what? Hold on.
Standard.
By all standard, yeah. Thank you. Yes. So bring in your comments, and Doctor is gonna answer you. Or if you have a question, just throw it in, and he's gonna answer you. Check out the time. 12 minutes away from 8 Dallas, Texas time. Morning chat. In case you just tune in, we're having a great conversation with Dr. Andy Asamoah. Somebody asked a question like, what is the difference between the dream that you sleep and the dream of, like, you have a goal, or you have something
Yeah.
in mind, you just want to take an action of that, or you just want it to happen. That is what Doctor is trying to explain it to us, for us to get an understanding, and then we can able to make things happen in life. I like that. Thank you, Dr. Andy Asamoah. Catch Elder Emmanuel Boateng this afternoon. Breakthrough Hour is coming on your way between the hours of 4 and 5 p.m. Dallas, Texas time. Let's listen to the word of God. Elder Emmanuel Boateng is, he's so powerful. With the word of God. So catch him between the hours of 4 and 5 p.m. Dallas, Texas time. Breakthrough Hour. Breakthrough Hour is powerful. Program that we have it in African Media 247 over here. So catch the man of God live. Elder Imam what fireman, yes, Uyoja. Anyway, so doctor, let's say fine, like your dreams, like everything is on point. You have been taking actions, and like let's say you were a taxi driver.
Mhm.
So let's put it in this way. First of all, you went to a bank gave you a loan, you bought a taxi. After a couple of months, you pay back to the bank. Now you own the taxi. Now you want to own maybe let's say a Sprinter van.
Mhm.
Your goal is to maybe have VIP bus or something like that. Have a big coach. So along the way, this taxi driver purchased a Sprinter van,
Mhm.
intending to be a passenger van. But his goal is to buy maybe a VIP bus. What can somebody do? Or what can somebody like? I mean, I'm just trying to get an understand that sometimes like you have a goal, you are taking action of whatever that you want to do. You're taking an
Mhm.
action. But along the way, something can just cross your mind. Something can just
It looks like we just lost Kin, and so I think he will just reconnect so that we can continue with the chat. Please bear with us. It has to do with the internet connection. So I'm just going to be on whilst we wait for him. Ken, welcome back.
yeah. So doctor, why do such things why do sometimes such things happen?
If I could confirm, so you are saying that the person is working towards a VIP bus,
Right.
but at the
Working towards
moment,
to get that.
yes, but he's been able to move from um, a place where he had no taxi to now having been able to pay for a taxi,
Mhm.
right? And
Right.
then from the taxi, he's moved to a Sprinter vehicle,
Mhm.
right? Okay,
Mhm.
so now because I lost you briefly, can you now ask the
Yeah.
question?
So along the way of doing that, like this person is taking action of whatever that
Yeah.
he trying to achieve to get to that point of VIP. But along the way, something just crosses his mind, and all of a sudden it flip around, turn around.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
sometimes those things happen when people taking actions of their dreams? Why?
It's so. I mean, you've hit on an important point. I mean, it's easy for us to say turn your dreams into goals, um, um, and then use the goals, have milestones, attach time to them, and work towards them. Right. In other words, that is an implicitly what we are saying is that the goal can be so big that you are not necessarily going to be able to do that at one go or within the shortest possible time. And so what you need to do is to break that into kind of micro level, if you like, objectives, with specific timelines, making sure they are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. And then you try and do all of them because they all will come together to take you there. And a lot of times, each achievement moves you a bit closer. But the key point we're emphasizing is the element of focus because, the world is full of distractions. And a lot of times we are really not distracted as such. We are really attracted to something else. And so someone will say, I was distracted. No, no, no. Probably you got attracted to something that you thought was also would offer some sense of pleasure at that moment in time. Now, from the example you are giving, the real issue it draws our attention to is the element of focusing and being consistent about working towards where you want to go. There are many things, 1,001 things that will come, but the ability to more or less work on one that can feed into two, work on two that can feed into three, work on three that can feed into four if you look at the history of Elon Musk, for instance, you can see that he's moved from one thing to the other. At some time, he was connected to PayPal at some point. From PayPal, he's been into series and series of different things, and now we are seeing that he's really on top of the world with the electric car, what do you call it, Tesla. And I think that Tesla is the beginning of Tesla is actually a step to fulfill something else, so he keeps going. If at any point, instead of moving from PayPal to whatever was the interface before Tesla, he had gotten sidetracked, that would have constituted something else. The question is, as I always indicate, you can't aim to go to your left if you start taking steps to your right. If you want to go to your right direction, aim for that, face that direction, and take your steps towards that direction. If you want to shoot, nobody kills a bird, no hunter kills a bird by shooting in the opposite direction. If you need a specific bird perching on the branch, you've got to shoot in that direction. That is how goals are. That is why how our objectives are. And so in that case, one of the things that makes us all struggle a lot is our ability to keep our focus. If 10 people start working towards a goal, chances are only about one will be able to sustain their focus. And that's what makes the difference. Our inability to focus. Focus means keeping your attention and glued to what you want to do. That's what we mean. Sometimes you can be sidetracked for a bit, but you've got to quickly realign. That is what we mean. And Patience, I think Patience has asked the question.
Yeah, yeah. She's asking a question. She's asking like, do we all the time, or like, do we always achieve our, I mean,
Our
dreams?
dreams?
Yes.
No, we don't always. Dreams can change. Dreams can be fluid, and all of that. But you can have an overarching bigger dream, which you work towards. But you see, the reason why we all have to dream big is that if you aim for the sun and you miss it, chances are you may hit something else in between, maybe the moon. But if you are aiming so low and you don't hit it, what then happens? And it is for this reason that things like excursions for younger people, exposing younger people in early education
Mm-hmm.
to different fields and people who can be mentors to them are incredibly important. Exposing them to different sports, different activities, different categories of professions. Because out of these, they will be able to picture themselves in one of them, and that may inspire them to move far higher. And so it's always important that even though you may not necessarily walk into the dream the way you dreamt it, or
Mm-hmm.
the way you had the flashes, or the way you imagined the sequence of issues, they always help pull you in the direction of hope and what is real in your life. And so even if you don't achieve all your dreams, still dream and make it bigger, because out of that, if you don't hit the sun, you will be better off with the moon. And that will certainly, and if you can't, even if you try the moon and you don't hit it, you certainly be better than the human stars floating around, because you'll be higher. And so the only way to find ourselves among the eagles in the sky is not to think like a chicken, but it's to think of flying amongst them. But you've got to go really, really high to be the outstanding eagle at the level where you need to be. So, patience, not all of them will be met. People die with dreams. And in fact, a lot of the dreams that humans dream, and that is why in the episode that Ken played, I made a statement that Earth is a place for dreams. And the reason is that dead people do not dream. It's the living who dream. But out of and every living human being, provided they are in their right frame of mind, has a certain dream. You pick any of the children on the streets at random, speak to them. They have a certain dream. It can be so micro and low and uninformed, but it's a dream. A lot of times it can be informed by where you are coming from, what you've been able to see, what the people around you have achieved, what you can picture. It's also always a reflection of how wide your mind can go and picture things. And that is why exposure usually causes dreams to change, or even the details of said dreams to evolve. And so those are some of the nuances and the dynamics when it comes to dreams.
Thank you, Dr. Andy Samuel. 25 minutes away from 8 Sunday morning chats. Yes, Dr. Andy Samuel live. Bring in your comments and we're gonna read it. Bring in your questions. He's gonna answer you. Catch Adom Hima between the hours of 6 p.m. to 7. She's coming live. Yameni Adache, Adom Hima will be here in the studios of Africa Media 247 to tell you more about our kids live. What do they do on Instagram? When they go to school, how do they perform? How do mom treat them? How do dads talk to them? That's why Adom Hima is over here to talk about kids. Yameni and Dachi. Catch her live between the hours of 6 and 7, Dallas, Texas time. Yes, African Media 247. Doctor, so all is about dreams. All is about that. In order for you to, but in the other way, when I was in my 20s, I was trying to figure it out what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I hit at the age of 30, still nothing coming up.
Yeah.
I hit at the age of 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, still nothing coming up. So this person, how do mankind gonna classify this person that he or she don't want to do anything, or what? Is that how we're gonna classify the person, or the person we're gonna classify the person as useless person? Excuse my language though.
I think in the example you gave, I wouldn't say that person has no dream. It's probably a struggle to identify what exactly within the picture of themselves they see, um, what where they want to belong. Because at least in that particular case, as much as the person was trying to figure things out at 20, 25, 30, and all the and other related issues, this person always looked at himself as going to be successful, right?
Okay.
But that is already a dream. It's more or less the person then needed to figure out what type of successful person are you talking about here, or you're imagining yourself having the best of cars. Is it yacht they call it, sitting on some beach somewhere and all of that. But some way somehow you're yet to figure out what profession or what path you've got to follow to be able to get there. And many people struggle with that one. And so it's a wide range of things. And it has to do with a lot of times exposure to options, the lack of, career counseling in our schools or families, or even if you like churches, our spaces. Um, and the fact that a lot of times sometimes you can be so good in multiple things that you are confused as to what really is your calling. And that question relates to I think an episode we've done before, which has to do with purpose. It's really about being able to figure out why you are here, and what it is that you need to do to be able to create a sense of fulfillment for you at the end of this journey on earth. Many people grapple with that, and I can assure you that even some of those who society may accept as succeeding are not necessarily fully fulfilled, because they may have succeeded in what they are doing, but they do not necessarily wish that would have been the path to being affluent. And we are not saying that affluence is necessarily the measure of fulfillment of goals. No, we are just saying that, using that as an example. And so sometimes it's good that we widen the exposure levels. Our educational systems are supposed to be able to expose us to wide range of sporting activities, number one, professions, number two, our parents, our parents are supposed to find opportunities to expose children to different career paths, to be able to choose amongst range of mentors and people like that who they can look up to and start working towards. In the absence of all of these, sometimes people struggle. And sometimes people have no idea of the process to translate those lofty, dreams into what they can do every day to be able to get there. Many of these things we are discussing are not necessarily things that you get taught in some of our educational systems. We assume you figure it out yourself. You know, you first learn what we are teaching you. You figure life yourself. And unfortunately, life has wrecked many souls, but life has no, universal blueprint. One can say the Bible offers solutions. Many can say all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, it is not a blueprint such that if I follow it, our paths will end up at the same place. There's a sense of individuality of our experience and sojourn on earth. And so that also comes through very well. We always have to think about life. But one of the things I can say is that, Ken, life is complex. And so it is not enough to just live life. You've got to spend time, a lot of times, reflecting on life like we are doing, because it's full of ups and downs. And your experiences will certainly be different from mine. But the real path to where we need to be is somewhere in between your experiences and my experiences. And then we've got to enhance how we take our steps.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Kumasi Supermarket. Yes, go there. All your African groceries is over there. Yam House. Yes. Mega Yam House. Yes. Go over there. Kumasi Supermarket. All your African groceries, whether you're from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from Uganda, from Libya, from Liberia, from all the four corners of the earth. Just go over. You can get all your African groceries over there. They are located at 2100 South West Great Southwest Parkway, Grand Prairie. You can give them a call, 972-854-6995 or 972-854-6995. Sorry, yeah, the same number. Yeah, you can WhatsApp them, you can text them, or you can just reach out to them. Yam House is great. Kumasi Supermarket. Just go over there. But before we go, I just want, like I said earlier on, 2022. We just not gonna sit down for life to, play around us and say, oh yeah, I need to, do this or do that or have a New Year resolution or whatever. No. 2022, we're supposed to make it, and we're gonna make it happen. Good morning to you, Nana Poku. Nana Poku is going to be in the studios of African Media 247 today on Hit Point. Talk about Ghana. Yes, Obekwe all the way from Sunyani. Good morning to you. I know you're doing all right over there. Keep on listening to African Media 247. Take a listen to Action Your Dream one more time. But when we come back, just get a piece of paper. Take your pen. Doctor is going to give us 5 things that we can able to do, or we can able to, we can able to do to take actions of our dreams. So just relax, listen to this. But before, grab your pen and paper. When we come back, he's going to tell us 5 things that we can able to do to action our dreams. Take a listen.
Hi, thanks for sharing your dreams yesterday. I spent the night reflecting on dreams and life based on the chat we had. You know, Earth is the home of dreams. Yes, billions of dreams. Look around and see billions of stars waiting to shine, to gladden hearts that are waiting to celebrate fulfilled dreams. Yet, only thousands ever take the first step into the skies. Only hundreds stay on the path, and further few ever truly see the skies. Yet, everyone carries a dream to see themselves high up and bright. Dreams. Dreams. It's strange how mortals are gifted with dreams, but are in debt to action. A dream without action creates a restless soul, but even a little action brings progress to a mortal. 1,000 years of actionless dreams can never compete a day of even a little action towards a dream. So souls must.
Hello, Ken. It looks like we lost Ken again. Kindly bear with us as he tries to reconnect back onto the stream. Please stay on.
Africa
A
Media
good
24
action
7.
towards a golden dream gladdens a heart, which is what you seek. So take action today towards your dream. Good morning.
Yes, take action of your dream today, and you can make it happen. Yes, doctor. So, somebody out there, just grab your pen and paper, and then, doctor, we'll go. Just give us 5 things that we can able to action our dreams.
Okay, so five things to take action towards your dream, or
Yes.
5 things to realize your dreams,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so, mind you, we are taking it from the dream level all the way. Number one, dream, and dream big. As we indicated, dreams can be lofty, dreams can be anything, but it is a disservice to yourself for your dreams not to be big enough. Because as I indicated, there's no guarantee that you are going to fulfill it 100%. But even if you are going to get 50%, you're better off with a 50% of a billion than 50% of 1,000. And so you've got to dream big, because dreams also, the level of vividness of your dream can be so compelling that it can serve as a drive or a driver towards where you need to be. And the third point also is that, I mean, not third point, but related to that, is that dreams inspire goals. And so you've got to be able to dream big to be able to have a bigger goal. In that sense. So the first point is dream, but dream big. It's very important. Number two, don't sit on your dreams. Make goals out of them. In other words, dreams are, no one can restrict how big you dream. No one has control over the processes of your mind. No one has control over where you need to be. But you see, um, and so your ability to dream actually reflects your sense of anticipation of the future. But once you've done that, dreams do not fulfill themselves. Dreams have no legs, have no head. They don't process for themselves. Dreams are processes in your head, not reality on their own. And so for you, after dreaming, what you've got to do is not to sit on those dreams and let them stay in your head. You've got to start to write them. You've got to start to translate them into goals, because that is the only way you can now start trying to move from the abstract into something tangible in the realm of human existence. And so don't sit on dreams, make goals of those dreams. And number three, so after you've made the goals out of the dreams, divide the goal, because usually the goal is wide and broad, not necessarily so specific, but it tells you where you're going. But divide your goals into milestones, specific milestones, and attach timelines to each of those milestones. So if you're going to be the best journalist in the world, you've got to be able to have a timeline. Maybe it's in the next 10 years. So what does that mean? You've got to know what to do, get your certifications right. After your certification, maybe pick up a job as an intern whilst you are serving as intern. Next move is to secure a job to gain the experience. After that, maybe you aim to move to a big media house where you can be noticed. One of the things about life is that no matter what you carry, if you are not noticed by the right people, you can rust or rot with whatever you carry. And so it's important. And that is why, even in things of God, God will give you something to carry and the grace to carry it. But at the level of, exposing you for humanity to benefit from what you carry, you bring people your way. And so it's also always about human beings. And so divide your goals into milestones with timelines. Number four, take action in, take actions to fulfill those timelines, informed by the right knowledge, by the right skills, and then the right understanding of the time. And the reason this is important is that, you know, knowledge, skills, and your reading of the times will always make the difference. You can't be the best at something if you know nothing about it. And so you've got to learn, you've got to study, and let all of those inform your steps. Misguided steps will always lead to a fall. And as I indicated some time ago, no matter how much potential you carry, always remember that unguarded energy is wasteful. And that is why, even when um, we create light, we have to shield it so that we can focus the beams in a specific direction. If you leave light to just glow in all directions, you will not be able to harness the brightness of its power. That's why you've got to shield it with something so that that can direct all the beams in the direction and is stronger and much more powerful. Now, to be able to do that when it comes to issues of moving towards your goal or your dream at the end of the day, you've got to have the right knowledge, the know-how, and that's where education matters. When we are saying education, we are not necessarily talking about getting a PhD or something. Reading the right books, getting the know-how, asking the right questions of people, getting on the internet and learning the right thing. You know, no matter what you know, if it is not relevant for what you want to do, it is not useful in that context. So we are talking about knowing the right thing that you need to be able to go where you need to go, and then building the skills and understanding. And this means a lot, actually. And then let these inform your actions. As I indicated, if you want to go in the right direction, take your steps to your right, not your left. you know and so I always have a saying that he who um you- if you take your steps in the right direction, it will never take you to your left. And so you've got to go in that right direction. So it means you've got to know where you're going and go in that direction. And then number five, Ken, after taking the actions, keep your focus, and then keep moving. And this requires that you focus and then you are consistent. Consistency is the missing ingredient in the lives of many. I find a lot of young people in church, and sometimes you find God is using them mightily, but whatever they are doing right to showcase the power of God on their lives, and they've been doing it for 3 years. Sometimes 10 years down the line, when you meet them, they would have stopped doing or interacting with the real source of power, and so they dwindle. The the difference between the failed, right, and then the one who is on the path, even though he hasn't really figured it out, is that as long as you stay on it, you'll certainly be able to figure a way out. Look, if you are learning how to shoot arrows, right? Sometimes out of your misguided shots, even if you are not a trained hand, you can, out of a mistake, hit the bull's eye. But if you are not taking the next shots at all, then you stand no chance. So keep your focus and keep consistent, even regardless. Um, and these are the 5 things that I would place at the center of what we need to do to be able to move from dreams now into solid fulfillment of dreams. Ken, there are many dimensions we can discuss this, but I think this crystallizes the very essence of what we need to do.
Yeah, like solid fulfillment of dreams. Yeah. I think doctor put a lot of ingredients in it. Spicing.
Ingredients, you've got
Yeah.
to spice it. And
Right. Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you. Thank you
welcome,
so
Ken.
much. Like catch you next week.
Next
Next week
week.
is gonna be something exclusive. What do you have for the masses?
No, my sense is that there's no tag,
Mm-hmm.
dollar tag
Mm-hmm.
on dreams. And so
Okay.
if you are going to dream really, really, really big, at least if you aim at the sun and you don't hit it, maybe you end up with the moon and it's still higher than where you are at the moment. And so you've got to dream. I think
Right.
if there are parents on the network listening, I feel we need to invest quite a bit out of our, sometimes very scarce resources in exposing younger ones to the options or to things that can force them to really look beyond the confines or the limitations of the environment. I remember a long time ago, I spoke to a very little girl actually. I asked her, "What do you want to be?" And she said she wants to be an attendant at a filling station because for her that is what she had seen. The
Mm-hmm.
ladies dress well and they offer customer service.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe that if that same child is exposed to maybe piloting and has been inside a plane or
Mm-hmm.
has interacted with, a police officer, male or female, interacted with a nurse, doctor, a very good teacher, lecturer, that child may have a wider room to start reflecting. And so nowadays we need to expose them in sports. Let them try different things. It may feel like waste of money, but you never know where they will be able to discover themselves. And I think at the end of the day, action is important. Okay, that would be what I was saying.
Yes, action is very, very important. Thank you so much, Dr. Andy. Yes, and we'll catch you next week. Thank you
Welcome.
for your time. Thanks. Stay blessed. This is Africa Media
Bless you too.
247 with the man Roy Akin. Yes, Dr. Andy Asamoah. Thank you so much. If you're looking for a DJ, if you're looking for somebody to come and do a video taping for you, if you are looking, if you're having a grand opening, holiday parties, you're looking for equipment, looking for a DJ, looking for MC, reach out to Africa Media 247. We have all these over here. Wedding reception, video taping, photography. We're going to give you best service. Call the number 682-347-2915. 682-347-2915. 972-854-4175. 469-769-2306. 469-769-2306. Kumasi Supermarket, like I said earlier on, go there. All your African groceries, you can able to get it over there. Pepper, Hintia, Sruisa, Formisa, everything. Go over there. Kumasi Supermarket. They are located at Great Southwest. Yes, Grand Prairie, Dallas, Texas. Reach out to them 972 845 6995. 972 854 6995. Kumasi Supermarket, Kumasi Jom. Just go over there. You can get all your African groceries from there. Noah 32 Signature Para. Go to Noah 32 Signature Para. They are located at South Central Junction near ARS Church. Just go over there. Noah 32 Signature Para. For all your printing, just reach out to them. Best in printing, t-shirt printing, posters, flyers, everything. Just reach out to Noah 32 Signature Para. Give them a call 0244617307 0244617307. Catch Samokodia live this afternoon between the hours of 2 and 3 Dallas, Texas time. Hit Point, #1 political talk show in Africa Media 247. Not forgetting Era Emmanuel Boateng coming on your way with Breakthrough Hour live. The Word of God. It's very important. Catch him live. Between the hours of 4 and 5 Dallas, Texas time as well. Elder Emmanuel Boateng, Fireman. Yes, we you jack. Adam Huma is coming. How can we solve all these? That's why I'm telling you that catch her live between the hours of 6 and 7. Good morning to each and everyone. My name is Royal King. Till we meet again next week. Stay blessed. This is Mount Charles. Stay blessed.